Just over 3 years ago, we bought this Tesla Model Y, and honestly, I didn't expect to still be driving it today. Some things about this car are incredible, but others are just downright stupid. So after 3 years of road trips, camping and daily driving, is it still actually worth it? So if you're new to this channel, here's some things you might not know. We bought this car brand new in 2022 at the peak of its demand, which for us wasn't really a good thing in hindsight. We used this as our daily driver, and we actually took it on a 20-day road trip around mainland Europe for our honeymoon in 2024. All of that is documented on this channel. I've put about 38,000 miles on it, and as you can tell, I use this camping on a fairly regular basis now. So I'm intending to get my money's worth out of this car, more on that later. So there's 4 things that I absolutely love about the Tesla Model Y, so let's unpack them. Number 1, road trips. In my opinion, the Tesla Model Y is the best road trip vehicle. On long drives, this is where the car really shines. Because you've got access to autopilot, if you're doing a high mileage day, you arrive and you literally feel like you've just popped down the road. And Tesla's navigation system just removes all stress. All you need to do is just plug in your destination and it will automatically map the best route and all of the charging stops that you need to make along the way. And one of the great features of the Model Y is its massive storage space. So you can literally take the home and your kitchen sink on your road trip with you. Between the boot space, the subfloor space, the frunk, the little side boot bins, we found storage is not an issue at all. And the second thing I absolutely love about the Tesla Model Y is this amazing feature called Camp Mode. Imagine being able to sleep somewhere secure anywhere in the world and you've got full climate control for the entire night, so you'll never be too hot or too cold. Well, that's exactly what you can do in the Tesla Model Y. There's no engine noise, no emissions, and you can be rest assured that you're never going to run out of battery. Because if your battery level reaches 20%, Tesla will automatically disable camp mode, so you can wake up with enough charge to get to your nearest charger. Tesla's camp mode has changed car camping completely, and if there was only one car I could pick to live in, this is it. The third thing I love about the Model Y is its performance and efficiency. So as standard, you've got 2 driving modes, chill and standard. Now don't get me wrong, when we first got the car, the instant torque was insanely fun and I found myself driving around in the standard mode more often than I really should have. Oh, you forget how fast that is. But once that novelty had worn off, I decided to pop it into chill and I've left it there ever since. The car is so efficient when driven properly and if you've got the right conditions. But this thing does amazingly well in the winter periods too. You'll find that you're always close enough to a Tesla supercharger anyway. And one of the best things about it is never having to go to a petrol or gas station again. It's just like plugging in your phone to charge. When I get home, I just plug in the car and that's it. I know I've got a full tank for the next day. And my 4th favourite thing about the Tesla Model Y is just the overall tech and daily experience. Having driver profiles is such an underrated feature. You can set the seat and the steering wheel to your preference and your partner can do the same. And this is automatically linked to the phone key on the Tesla app via your phone. So whenever you or your partner approach the car, it will detect who's about to drive and it will select their profile. And this works about 99% of the time, which is amazing. I absolutely love the easy entry function as well. What it means is the seats and the steering wheel can be moved wherever you want to make it super easy for you to get in and out of the car. Then you pop your foot on the brake and it will automatically engage your driver profile and change your seat and steering settings back to what you prefer to drive with. And even 3+ years later, this car still feels super futuristic. 95% of all of the tech in the car just works flawlessly between the app and the on-screen UI. And one feature our passengers always comment on is the panoramic glass roof. It's definitely got that wow factor, especially when you're driving in beautiful locations. And the other great benefit about that glass roof is actually when you're in camp mode and you're camping somewhere like this, because you can get views of the trees blowing during the night, or you could even catch a glimpse of the stars if the conditions are just right. And speaking of actually using the car properly, this is something I didn't think about when I first got it. When you're using the car for road trips, camping, or just day-to-day life, The interior takes a bit of a beating, and that's where these come in, the 3W all-weather mats. They're designed specifically for the Model Y, so the fit is spot on. No sliding around, no gaps, they just sit exactly where they should. And after a trip like this, they get pretty messy. But cleaning them is honestly so simple. When I'm camping, I'll usually remove the mats and give them a good shake out every day or two. This helps get rid of most of the dry debris. But when I get home, I usually give them a quick scrub with some warm soapy water, then just hose them down and they come up looking pretty much brand new. They're made from a durable TPE material, so there's no rubber smell and they hold up really well over time. They're also pet and kid safe, which is a big one for us. And because they're waterproof and easy to dry, they're perfect for the kind of trips where you're in and out of the car all day. One thing I really like is the option to switch it up. You can run them fully rubber for the winter months, or add the carpet layer back in when you want that slightly more premium feel. Now they're not the most exciting upgrade, but they're one of those things that just make owning the car a bit easier. I'll leave a link in our discount code below if you want to check them out. Now, as much as it pains me to say it, let's talk about the 5 things that I sadly hate about the Tesla Model Y. Number 1 has to be the paint. I've never come across paint that scratches so easily. All you need to do is look at it and boom, you've got a paint chip. And we also need to talk about the suspension. It's kinda cringy. It is so stiff. Now I know this is somewhat of a performance car, but does the suspension really have to be that firm? Especially on the UK roads? Come on. If I'm being totally honest, in this car, on bumpy roads, you feel pretty much every single bump. And whenever you've got passengers in the car, it is kinda embarrassing. Now I believe the suspension did improve from around about 2023 onwards. So if you are looking to get a Model Y, I'd advise test driving it first just to make sure it's not too firm for you. And one of the other annoying bugs of the car is the amount of interior rattles. Even after plugging in every single seatbelt in this car, there's always a rattle. And yes, you might notice it more because it's an EV, but for what we paid brand new for this car, you really expect a higher quality. And one of the issues we had when we got the Model Y, and it's still an issue today, is the auto wipers. Sadly, they're just still absolutely awful, which is nuts because I've been in cars that are much older than the Model Y and they've got much less tech, but how come their auto wipers work flawlessly? Basically, the car's really good at wiping when it doesn't have to and terrible at wiping when you really need it most. Now luckily Tesla did improve the UI, so you've got better controls over the manual wipers, but it kind of feels like they've just given up on the auto wipers at this point. And while autopilot is one of my favourite road trip features, what I really hate about it is when it's inconsistent. It'll work 99% of the time, but then there's that 1% where it'll either try and take you off the road or just stop instantly. And for that reason, I can see why people just don't trust it at all. Now I'll level with you, none of these are actually deal breakers for me, but over time, they do all start to add up. And there's not just things that I love and hate about this car, I also have some regrets. Now at the time of us buying our Model Y, Tesla offered this feature called Enhanced Autopilot. It's basically a souped up version of the regular autopilot that you get as standard with all Teslas. Or at least you used to get it as standard. Its main selling points was one, it would allow you to automatically lane change while you were in autopilot, meaning you didn't have to disengage autopilot in order to overtake and then re-engage it again, which most of the time actually works really well. But there's a bunch of other features too, like automatic highway departures, smart summon, and auto park. Now all of this sounds great on paper, but in reality you find that, at least in the UK, it's somewhat inconsistent. The automatic lane departure feature is sometimes a bit risky. It either works or it doesn't, and it kind of adds more stress to the driving experience than the stress it's meant to remove. Auto park is a bit different. It works more reliably, but most of the time I can just park myself much quicker, so it's a lot less embarrassing than waiting for the car to do all these weird little movements to get into a space that I could have done in literally 3 seconds. But the biggest fail of them all is the summon feature. Now I know we're restricted by certain laws here in the UK that does affect the type of summon that we have, compared to you guys in the US or North America or Australia, but someone is just plain awful. You could literally toss a coin to determine whether or not the car is going to move forward or not when you're outside and you're using the summon feature on the app. And the biggest fail of them all is the summon feature that's meant to allow you to stand outside a shop and have your parked car drive to you. Well, for us, this only works if you're actually about 4 meters away from the car, and at that point, you may as well just walk the few steps to get in it. So in an annoying way, I kind of regret getting the Enhanced Autopilot. When I'm doing long road trips and I've got the auto lane change feature, I do think it's worth it. But overall, for the money that we paid for it, I kind of wish I'd waited to have the car and use it and then decide to buy that software add-on later on if I actually deemed it necessary. And my final regret is something that I should have done when I took delivery of the car, and that is adding a thing called PPF, otherwise known as paint protection film, to the whole exterior of the car. Because the paint is so soft, that PPF would have done a fantastic job at giving the car a bit of body armour, and maybe it wouldn't have as many scratches or chips as it does just now. But I guess that just means it's been used a lot and we've enjoyed it. And now that it's got those scratches and chips, I'm not really that bothered, so it just means I can get more scratches and chips without actually having any more regrets. So it's kind of all worked out in the end. So the big question is, would I buy it again today? 100%. Now at the time when we bought it, there were no used Model Ys in the market, or at least if there were used Model Ys in the market in 2022, they were actually selling for the same price as a brand new model. Because as we all know, that time period was crazy. But if I were to buy this car again in 2026, I'd definitely be looking on the used market. Because if you're looking to buy a used EV today, the Tesla Model Y is an absolute steal. It absolutely pains me to know how much money we've technically lost on this car. So if you can find someone willing to part with one used and get it for a good price, you're getting a lot of car for your money. The 2022 Tesla Model Y might just be one of the best value EVs you can get. For us, this isn't just a car. It took us across Europe on our honeymoon, it got us into Tesla camping, and in many ways, it's the reason this channel exists. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I wouldn't change it.